Shell, and we're moving on to our lecture number 7, which is accounting for merchandising activities, periodic and perpetual inventory systems. Now our outline suggests what we all the content and the concepts that we'll be going through in this chapter. Starting from accrued expense and its accounting, we've already discussed the concept of accruals in the previous two chapters, and we'll further look into it and dive into its concepts. Credit terms, credit period and when it starts, purchase discounts, return inward and return outwards, preparing adjusting entries, how long depreciation is calculated, three main inputs for calculating depreciation, test tube for calculating depreciation, what is straight line depreciation, what type of assets are depreciated, what is the formula for straight line depreciation, the journal entries for perpetual method using net cost method and approach, and journal entries for periodic method and calculating the cost of goods sold, which is also known as CGS. Now moving forward, accounting for merchandising एक्टिविटीज़ पीरियोडिक एंड परपेचुअल इन्वेंट्री सिस्टम. अब एक्रूड एक्सपेंस क्या होता है? ये वो एक्सपेंस होता है जो आपने इनकर हो चुका होता है लेकिन अभी तक आपने उसकी पेमेंट नहीं की होती. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल इंटरेस्ट एक्सपेंस हो गया, वेज एक्सपेंस हो गया, कि एक्सपेंस हो चुका है. वेज एक्सपेंस क्या होगा? दैट आपने सर्विसेज यूज़ कर ली हैं बट अभी तक आपने अपने वर्कर्स को पे नहीं किया. फिर हमारे पास आ जाता है अकाउंटिंग ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ एक्रूड एक्सपेंस. हमारा जो इनकम स्टेटमेंट में जो हमारा एक्सपेंस है वो डेबिट होता है और बैलेंस शीट में एक्सपेंस पेबल क्रेडिट. फॉर एग्जांपल, Z company pays loan interest for the month of December 2019 of PKR 10,000 on 3rd January 2020. Now the company maintain accounting period of December as every year. Now give the accounting entry of this expense. Now these will be the following transactions. We can see that Z company pays loan interest for the month of December 2019, which is 10,000, and on the 3rd January 2020, it is the same amount has been credited. Now adjustment entry भी हमने करनी होती है at the time of the paying the interest payable at due date. उसमें हमारा interest payable debit हो जाएगा और cash account हमारा credit हो जाएगा. Now, what is credit term? The term and condition of payment to be paid to the seller by the buyer of the merchandise. Credit period क्या होता है? जो आपने buyer को length दी होती है time period की. And when credit period starts, it begins from the date of sales transaction. Now, what are purchase discounts? These are discounts taken by the buyer, is called purchase discount. Return inwards कब होता है? Goods returned back to the seller by the buyer is known as sale in returns. कि अगर आपको कस्टमर वापस गुड्स रिटर्न कर दे तो वो उसको सेल्स रिटर्न और रिटर्न इनवर्ड्स भी कहते हैं. आउटवर्ड इज़ और आउटवर्ड को परचेज रिटर्न्स भी कहते हैं. व्हेन परचेजिंग पार्टी रिटर्न द गुड्स टू द सेलर. Now preparing various adjusting entries. Hill Company adjusts its account at end of each month. Prepare the adjusting entry required at December 31st based on the following information. A bank loan had been obtained on December 1. Accrued interest on the loan at December 31st amounts to 1050 and no interest expense yet been recorded. Second is the depreciation of office equipment is based on an estimated life of 5 years. The balance in the office equipment is $24,000 and no exchange has been occurred during the year. And interest revenue earned on United States government bonds during December amounts to $750. Now this accrued interest has not been recorded or received as of December 31st. And on December 31st, an agreement was signed to lease a truck for 12 months beginning January 1st at a rate of 35 cents a mile. Now, usage is expected to be 2,000 miles per month, and the contract specifies a minimum payment equivalent to 18,000 miles a year. And the company policy is to pay all employees up to date each Friday. Since December 31st fell on Monday, there was a liability to employees at December 31st for 1 day's pay amounting to 2,800. Now, when you prepare adjusting entries, we'll see how we go about these adjusting entries. Now, the bank loan had been obtained on December 1st. Accrued interest on the loan at December 31st amounts to 1050, and no interest expense has yet been recorded. Here our interest expense would be debited and our interest payable amount would be credited. Now here depreciation of office equipment is based on an estimated life of 5 years. The balance in the office equipment amounts to 24,000 and no change has been occurred on the account during the year. Here depreciation expense will not be calculated because we do not have the actual cost of the depreciable assets. That's why हम इसको record नहीं करेंगे. फिर हमारे पास आ जाता है interest revenue earned on United States government bonds during December amounts to 750. Now this accrued interest revenue has not been recorded or received as of December 31st. Here our cash or interest received on bond would be 750 debit and interest income on bond would be 750 credit. Now on December 31st, agreement was signed to lease a truck for 12 months beginning January 1st at a rate of 25 cents a mile. Usage is expected to be 2,000 miles per month, and the contract specifies a minimum payment equivalent to 18,000 miles a year. Here हमारी कोई ट्रांजैक्शन रिकॉर्ड नहीं होगी. एंड नाउ यहाँ इस वाले इसको देखा जाए तो यहाँ पे हमारे पास सैलरी जो एक्सपेंस है वो डेबिट होगा और सैलरी पेएबल क्रेडिट. Now moving forward, straight line depreciation method, we'll see what is depreciation first. Straight line depreciation, in which type of asset depreciation is available? Depreciation is applicable to the fixed assets. And how it is done? Depreciation is done into the systematic manner and it is carried out until the value of asset becomes zero or negligible. Now example of depreciable assets जिन पर depreciation हो सकती है is building, machinery, chair and so on. Now we have three main inputs for calculating depreciation: useful life, salvage value and the cost of asset. Then we have test tube. Useful life is greater than 1 year. Salvage value become obsolete, they lose value and they must be used in the business. Now a qualifying asset for depreciation must satisfy three conditions of test tube towards useful life, which should be greater than 1 year, lose value and usage for business. Now the formula for straight line depreciation is total cost divided by useful life. Now these are some practice questions and their solution is also given. You can practice these questions, and if you have any question regarding these questions or their solution, you can drop in the comment box and I'll get back to you and respond in the comment box. These are all the practice questions, and these are all since I've explained the concepts well, so all these practice questions are very easy to solve. That's why we're not going about them one by one, because if we do, it's going to take a lot of time, and I hope I'm very I'm pretty sure the concepts are clear to you all, so you can easily solve these questions. And still, if you cannot, I have provided the solution as well, so you can go through the solution. And still, if you are stuck anywhere or you're unable to understand and grasp the concept, you can drop your questions and queries in the comment box and I'll get back to you. Now this is what the accounts and its analysis. Assets is equals to liabilities plus equity. Now common stock is added, dividends are subtracted,